Right, greetings everybody, and welcome to going to be this set of recording videos because there's a bunch of stuff to talk about actually this week. I haven't decided if I'm going to be doing a spoilerific video yet, but there is a bunch of limit bursts, and before we get too far into this, if you're wondering about limit burst animation for Dark Veritas, unfortunately I'm not doing it in this video because I'm going to try and do a complete compilation of all the Veritas limit burst animations. I normally don't do this, but this is kind of a special thing for me since I like the Veritas unit so much. But today we're here to discuss about some of the upgrades, and I've also thrown in the vision cards into this video. There will be a video talking about Master Ability 2s separately. So if you're wondering where all that shit is, it's all in another video, but let's get to it. Starting off with Dark Veritas. The last of the Veritas units to get his limit burst. He finally does have it. I will show it. There it is. Essentially its range is 4 out from the center of a Dark Veritas. Go figure. And for this limit burst, it's actually better than I expected in some ways and kind of worse in respect in other ways. For one thing, it is a select a target unit, which is personally my absolute favorite type of abilities lately. This you can select up to 3 targets within this area, which is really good. That is really strong. We see a lot of the time 2 selectors. Having a 3 selector is really nice. It is a 240 mod. 49 AP is a bit high costed, but you are getting a bunch here. Also dispels auto revive. That is really strong as well. And finally, decreases reflect rate is what is listed on Wotv calc. That, for people who are wondering about that one, that basically is decreased buff rate. We saw this on a previous character recently, and yeah, it's here again. Decreasing reflect or buff rate, I think, is a really interesting ability if you can get it on the characters early enough, being able to attack them and essentially decrease all of their buffs. But here's the question. One, is this going to be really that good, given that it is potentially late and you are potentially taking damage earlier than this effect is going to go off? That's a sticking point for me on talking about whether or not I think this is any kind of great. And the other question is just dispelling your opponent. Isn't that just effectively better most of the time? Because this isn't really getting rid of buffs. It's kind of decreasing how effective buffs are. And by the time the characters get in that close, support-based skills are usually not being triggered that often. So I do like Dark Veritas' limit burst. I think that it is potentially even quite strong. And there's still potentially, limit burst upgrades in the future to go for this guy as well, which will make this even stronger. But selecting 3 targets and dispelling auto revive is just critically already pretty powerful. The buff rate seems to just be something extra that could be useful in different modes, depending on the settings and whatnot. But I have to say that in terms of value, probably still just generally really good here. And yeah, let's move on and talk about the next character we need to talk about. There are 2 other limit bursts. We're going to get those out of the way first. And hey, Water Veritas, one of Umber's favorite. You can see we also have a Master Ability 3 there. Haven't gotten that yet, but I should be able to do this. Wait a minute, I thought I bought this. I do have it. Oh, well, okay. Have it maxed. Okay, I'm just missing or forgetting something right now. Let's talk about the upgrade to this. So Water Veritas has been upgraded now to have full limit burst effect, decrease spirit by 38 for 3 turns, 240 mod. Range has stayed the same. 69 AP has also stayed the same. Nice. Decreases defense by 30 for 3 turns to target. So you get the defense decrease, the spirit decrease. You get a AoE decrease for 3 turns at the start for targets. New to this character as well for their limit burst, re-raise, remove ceiling for 3 turns for targets, which is actually pretty nice. you know, being able to essentially protect your re-raise, and this has pretty good range on it. They can catch some targets potentially before they cancel re-raise. It's a bit of a coin toss as to who will go first, but if this does work, then your re-raise is protected, and that's pretty nice. Also have a 67% chance to inflict poison, which is another nice source of damage here. Honestly, I think Wotv got pretty nice for her upgrades for her limit burst. So I'm pretty happy with that one overall. I think that she will continue to be used. I have gone up against her. She can be generally pretty strong in the mid-tier player range, low-tier player range. So this kind of upgrade will just continue that trend for her generally being pretty good where she is. Okay, now we are going to jump, maybe, if I can correctly, over. Oh, no. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself. I'm just getting ahead of myself. I do have one other unit to talk about in terms of their limit burst, which is Helena. And Helena is, again, a unit that is used by, you know, mid-tier players who haven't necessarily upgraded to the newest characters. And this time around, I mean, still has her decrease magic resistance by 38% per 3 turns. It's still a same range, same AP cost, same damage amount. Automatically casts the other abilities on her that she did before, but this time we'll also be increasing chain resistance by 80 for 3 turns for self, and increasing healing power by 20 for 3 turns for self. I mean, she does have some good healing power, so upping her healing power is just upgrading her utility. And chain resistance of 80, I mean, I'm not the biggest person who is a fan of chain resistance, but 80 is a pretty significant upgrade. It's only for herself, so I question about how useful this actually will be, but not bad at all. So all of the upgrades for the characters this time around are pretty good. I mean, limit burst upgrades are generally pretty easy to trigger, and Wotv, you can get the jar of goo, limit burst upgrade goo, I guess it is. You can get that for 45 metals, so that's pretty cheap. Almost no reason to not be doing this, although for me, the sticking point is upgrading limit burst to level 20. Maybe you're short on limit burst pots. You might want to think about it a little bit. As for this VC, nothing much has terribly changed with this. For range-based teams, this VC is crazy. It's an 18% agility card, and that one is really, really good if you're trying to combine bow and gun. I do know some people in my guild who are specifically running that for this new guild battle event, and they're doing pretty well with it. So this Esper vision card combo is going to be essentially a really, really good investment for some people. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Esper that you can see here, the Faja Bomb. So some people have noted, hey, it's another ice elemental summon. And if you look at the Esper board for this thing, which you can take a look on Wotv Calc, I don't think I really need to show it here because the key points, missile attack up is one of the major things. Increased damage done by skills is also on here of 20%, and increase acquired AP by a total of, let me just double check, 25%. If you're trying to get that increased damage done, you have to go through the acquired AP, but that's pretty nice. That's a lot of acquired AP to potentially use more abilities with, and getting that extra 20% damage done on top of missile attack resistance and general attack increase by 5%, with missile attack also another bunch of increased nodes for a total of, let's see, 15 there. I'm just quickly calculating this. A total of 30 extra missile attack. And there are some accuracy nodes, slash resistance nodes, wind killer, which not super important here. But this is actually a generally really good Esper, just a really good shooting Esper. Any range character would be incredibly happy to be running this Esper, and I think this will be the #1 ranged Esper from now on. And to point it out, it is a more physical-based Esper with 138 attack, but more importantly, 18 speed, which is really nice. 70 luck, 25% stun resistance. I have to say, this is absolutely terrific vision card. I've already tried to get it once and failed. That's just Umbra's luck, I guess, recently. But this is going to be one of those ones that is just going to be nice either now or down the road. So, yep. And then, last thing we need to talk about is the other new Holo VC. This one right here. Pretty cool artwork, once again. And just for what we are looking at, magic increase of 20% for Thunder Veritas, AoE resistance penetration as well as 20. That's pretty good for shoring up her damage. Earth Veritas takes 10% less magical damage and also has 10% extra HP, so that's pretty good. And you get that on top of a 5% agility increase in AoE resistance. This VC will probably be pretty important if you're trying to clear some of the Veritas trials. I would say that this will even go quite far to making it considerably easier, especially with magic attack damage maps. Plus you're getting water and lightning resistance, which will help with certain characters. And that kind of brings me into the final point of this video, is talking about, let's just take a quick little peek here, because Dark Veritas trial, we got the next one, level 140, job level 25, so it'll probably be comparably difficult to #3. Now, #3, as you can see, I've completely cleared it. Global players still haven't gotten #3, so you are still a little bit unaware about how difficult. And just taking a peek as to what we are getting out of this one, the Lapis, of course. We're also getting 3 UR orbs, and we're getting these right in here, but then we're getting 200 of the character orbs for Dark Veritas, which should pretty much get his reincarnations done and such. That kind of brings me back around just to talking, because I don't know if I've talked about it before. Maybe I haven't covered this, but if I haven't, Dream Awakening for Dark Veritas, debuff effect weakening of 20 for him, as well as reducing physical and magical damage taken. And we do actually have a skill upgraded. Let me just double check before I speak too quickly. Sometimes I hate playing Match the Kanji game, but anyway, it's his job level 12. You can select up to 2 targets, decreases slash attack by a factor of 60 ability. Also increases single target attack resistance penetration by 40 for 3 turns for self. And then we are also looking at increases damage as HP decreases, that's still the same, and decreases healing power by 50. So Dark Veritas has gotten a series of pretty nice upgrades. As for whether this map is going to be really difficult, again, very, very early on for even thinking about what this could potentially be. But let's go into it for just a little bit of extra content and value, and get kind of a sneak peek of what this map essentially looks like. Already I can see potentially an evade unit. I'm not really crazy about that. We got Spring Joom on here too, already buffing herself. We got Dark Veritas buffing himself pretty quickly. So let's see what we can glean from the early parts of this, because there will undoubtedly be some more characters spawning in at later points. So taking a look over here, level 99, 300 accuracy, 255 evade. So people who absolutely despise the Chunak mechanic, probably also going to see that again here. If we look at her partner, which is a Thunder-based character, not so much of a problem, looks pretty fine there. Going over to Dark Veritas, what's the thing this time around? Looks like stun is the big thing. So if you can stun him, that will be the correct thing. Weak against light and strike, which I don't think is any different from before. And taking a look at Joom as well, 300 accuracy, no evasion shenanigans there, maybe a little bit tanky, and can be slapped, so that might actually be an interesting point of attack of just putting her to sleep, allowing you to deal with the other characters maybe this time around. We got to kill Dark Veritas first, and let's take a look at this one. You can berserk her, which honestly I'm going to prove my ignorance a bit. I'm not too terribly sure if any of the Veritas units have a berserk based ability, but that might be a point of attack. Either way, evasion will be another check here. So I'm not going to do that in this video, but stay tuned as I will try and cover part, this number 4 as soon as possible. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you later.